Hey guys, hello and welcome to another edition of the Crypto Live with Alex, every Thursday featured by Trading Analysis. So we had a couple of, I would say, middle or a smaller range of important data this week, and most of them has been on the positive side, which means that the latest PPI that we have just now. I think 45 minutes ago was coming higher than expected. 0.4 was expected. We came at 0.7. So we are still in a kind of a mode that markets are thinking how far the Fed is going to go. So we are going to revisit today a little bit of a macro data, and then we will go and look what the main crypto currencies, if we have to use this term. And I addressed that on Twitter today. I mean, it is really amazing to me that mainstream media and a couple of kind of older financial guys didn't actually learn that this is just kind of a term that is coined because lack of classification of these digital assets. I mean, only a couple of them are designed to be really currencies, and the rest are completely different projects, and they still put all of that in the same basket. So that is really amazing after 10 years or more of existence of this type of digital assets. So maybe they're going to learn sometime. So let's dive into it. Let's look the latest CME Fed tool prediction. Let's look what we have here for the 22nd of March. CPI data this week came a little bit less than expected. So previous reading was 6.5. We came at 6.4. Expected was 6.2, which kind of signals a pause, because also one of the part of commodities which goes into that didn't went, especially energy, except the net gas, didn't went so much lower in the last couple of weeks. So maybe we're gonna be in some range about, if this commodity stays range about, and maybe they will go in further lower, which can be seen later in the data, and CPI can go below 6%. So currently, for the 22nd of March, we have another 25 basis points move. So we fell from 90% yesterday. So as you can see, we have been yesterday even 87.8%. We fell today to 84.9%. And for a 25 basis points move, and we moved a little bit upside, around 3 percentage point to a 50 basis move by Fed, 15.1% now. I don't think we're going to have one more CPA reading, I think, before this 22nd of March. So we will see if this is going to increase. Most likely they're going to go 25 basis points, because I think the data will stay in a range, a little bit higher, but still in a range. And then for the 3rd of May, we have 70.8% that Fed it's actually going to go one more time, 25 basis points, which is now a target rate between 5 and 525. 525 to 550, 12.1%, and 70.2%. They actually gonna pause and start pausing for the rest of 2023. I think for that we need a CPI to go below 6%, and we might possibly see that reading in March. So we will see. We still have time to 22nd of March. I think it's just a couple of days before, or on the same day, it's the CPI. When is the Fed? I have to check that. So dollar is moving higher as expected. We did announce that in the Crypto Lab a couple of weeks ago, that the 5-wave move is most likely fulfilled, and that we are going to go higher, either in a more of a, let's say, simple correction, which means that we go up in A, down in B, and up in C, or there is another version of more kind of a, I would say, more time consuming correction, which can be WXY, which actually has an X wave, which is a connector of two zigzags. We will see which one will actually unfold. But overall, we are looking this as a corrective process, which will actually develop for some time, and from there we are looking US dollar to go further lower towards at least a measure move, which means that the move further lower will be equal with this beginning move from 114.78. On the higher time frame, dollar is still after a 5-wave move still making a correction, so potentially if we go lower as a measured move, we will see where the US dollar will stop. But I think for the rest, when this correction is done, for the rest of 2023, even 2024, we might see a lower dollar. The question is how this correction will unfold. This is a daily chart, so we will see if we're gonna see just an ABC and then continuation down, or we're gonna see something more complex. And with this situation going back and forth, I think most likely this is going to be WXY, which might get above 107.46, or in this area there is 50% retracement from this move down. 618 comes around 109.34, and the last resort 786 comes around 111.48. Dollar has a nasty habit when it actually performs its corrective moves. Sometimes they can be a pretty sizable on the upside. I don't think here that will be the case, so I will go for the 107.53, which will be a 50% retracement from this move that we had on the downside, which is the beginning of an impulsive move. So either we label that as 1 or A. Really doesn't play much of a role currently, so we will go with the ABC, and then if we cross equality or a measured move, we will transform that into 1, 2, and then wave 3 on the downside. So for now, we will look this move in a dollar in an ABC, and this C wave, as I said, can go for the rest. It depends how long this correction will actually last. We can see 2023, 24, and even further in time, depends how this C wave will unfold to the downside. But let's say we will correct 50%. So if we do some type of a measured move, although these lines sometimes are not correct on the trading view, we should go down to 91, 92 on dollar index, which means that the other risk assets classes or risk currencies and risky assets will go on the upside when the dollar actually fulfills its corrective pullback. So let's see what's going on yields. So we are moving up after this PPI data. We also moved slightly up on the CPI data. So we still look this as a kind of a consolidation in some type of a probably triangulation here, and we expect just a touch of a move higher towards this 5%, where actually we see that potential target rate will be the terminal one, which means that the Fed might go in the next couple of months and make a pause with the rate hikes, and then we might see a more of a disinflationary environment, even deeper than currently, where the rates are gonna go into some type of a corrective move after a 5-wave move on the upside. So from the lows of 2020, beginning of a COVID crisis, this was a wave 1, a complex wave 2, nice developments here in a wave 3, some type of a consolidation, probably a triangle in a wave 4, small push up, and then when this first 5 waves completes its move on the upside, we can expect either a simple or a complex correction or a triangle, which might last for 2 years, when the rates are going to go and tick lower. and will actually give an opportunity to risk assets to go further on the upside. So we do expect this to occur in the first beginning or in the first months of 2023, when this triangle should be complete. We should see one more push on the upside and then a sizable move down, which will give a wing to various risk-on asset classes to move further on the upside. So we have been following this case for a long time on the Crypto Lab, and for now it's working. So there is no really a need to change this outlook, because the wave structure still fulfills the basic needs of the Elliott Wave rules. We don't have any wave count invalidations. The wave 3 has 5 waves in it. This pause might be a little bit longer, kind of to match this wave 2 in some type of a time ratio. So we might be this in A, up in B, C, D, and E, and then with a small push on the upside when it's complete. So total crypto market cap, as the Bitcoin move on the upside from our wave 4, is moving into wave 5 position. So as you can see from lows, we had a wave 1 and 2, very nice wave 3, crossing this this trend line, which is actually holding and plays the role of a resistance. And now we are moving up in a wave 5, which I still think it's not complete. And then we will go into some type of an ABC affair, because this is too big to be a part of a matching correction with this wave 2. So if we look the share magnitude of the wave 2, and we do have some measurements tools in the multi-wave, not much on a trading view, but just the size of it should have a right look. Wave 4s are usually longer, but this type will not match actually from here. When the wave 4 started, this will be a too big affair to be a flat. So I still think that this was wave 4 lows. We were expecting before ending diagonal here, which didn't play out. We had found the lows a touch before. If this was going further lower, that will be some type of an ending diagonal with then completed wave structure in 5 waves. So we had to relabel this a touch in an 3 waves up in A, down in B, and up in C, some type of a running flat and a 5-wave move down, reaching marginal lows to actually confirm that the first 5-wave move is done. So what we are faced in the Bitcoin and a total crypto market cap, after a 5-wave move, usually you're going to see a 3-wave correction. So the same thing that we see in dollar, we should see in the total crypto market cap, although we still think that this window of 2 years, when the rates are going to start to go lower, it's going to allow this total crypto market cap and also Bitcoin to go further and actually fulfill a full 5-wave sequence on the upside. So we still don't think that this was the end of the upside cycle for now, but let's go with something which is now more realistic. So we're going to do the same thing as in dollar. We're going to place this as a wave A, wave B of a larger degree, and a wave C. So this is the smaller degree correction, which might unfold soon. And then we're going to look for a C wave. And then if this C wave starts to move above equality, we're going to turn this into 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5 for the new highs. So there is a more safer view, in a sense that you don't hype yourself much that we are in the wave 5. We still don't know that. We need some confirming price action above equality. But one of the things that in this chart presents a higher probability is that actually the ABC will play out, which means that we will go above 1.5, 1.6 trillion, and then potentially roll over or continue further on the upside. So let's play this on a safe side. Let's look this without any unnecessary moon hype and other stuff that's going on in the crypto space. So this is something more realistic to look as an ABC, and then if it goes further, we will transform this into 1, 2, wave 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So basically, it will be the same picture for the Bitcoin. So let me just go and look the current chart of the Bitcoin. So we will, go and look what's going on there. So Bitcoin from our wave 4 pullback has moved pretty sizably on the upside in the last 2 days. So we are still searching for the wave 5 upside before some sizable correction starts. So from the lows, as you can see, we have a wave 1 in a leading expanding diagonal, pullback in a wave 2, and then we have a nice push up in a wave 3, which was actually fulfilling all the conditions for the wave 3 in regards of the verticality of the rise and the strength of the rise. So wave 3s are usually pretty sharp affairs, which is clearly seen which is clearly seen on this chart. I apologize, maybe I pushed the wrong button. So no, I pushed the wrong button, not maybe. So this was just a nice development. Usually when you have corrections, and this correction was a flat, you will see a region around the previous wave 4 and 38% retracement. We stopped just a touch before it, and then we start moving without any sizable correction on the downside, pretty much higher. Okay, so I do expect this to continue a little bit more on the upside, and then we will have a relatively perfect 5-wave sequence from where we can expect a 3-wave pullback, and we will see how that actually will unfold and how the big depth of this correction will be. So in my opinion, we are in the last sequence of this first small cycle, and we are going to complete that soon. And of course, the wave A down in 5 waves will confirm that hypothesis and actually call, or it will call for a wave B and C further lower, from where I do expect Bitcoin to turn further higher for this C wave or the 3rd wave on the upside. So we cannot speculate now in this moment how big or how deep this correction will be. Usually, in most of the cases, they test these regions of the 50% retracement area. So let's say this will be the high, just hypothetically. We should test on a corrective pullback previous wave 4. So if we take some type of a retracement tool and actually measure the Bitcoin, we will see that that will come exactly there, around 20,000, 21,000 in this area. So when I say a previous wave 4, I don't mean exactly there. It just depicts an expression when you search for a kind of a fib cluster, but for that you need to have a wave A and B already developed, so you can project a measured move, and then with the retracement you're trying to find a fib clustering area. So it's not exact. Sometimes it plays out very exactly, but the point is not to pick up really a price in a cent, just to actually determine a region where this correction might finish. Okay, just to be clear on that. And people usually say, okay, it didn't come to your line. Nobody is looking who is seriously involved in markets to that exact price. Okay, usually people, when they want to decide where the potential support is, they usually think about the region or a range where this correction and support might be. Okay, just to clarify that. So let's look what's going on Ether. Our Bitcoin Ether cross, it's still working nicely. So we are working on a 5-wave move just before we are going to Ether. So we still favor Ether over Bitcoin on the push on the upside. We are moving to our target box. I just explained what I think about the region. So the region of the potential move is somewhere around there. Okay, so This is a 5 waves up, very clear 5 waves up from this fourth wave low, and then we have a 5 waves down in A, some type of an A triangle, B up in C in B wave, and now we are unfolding in a 5 wave move towards this 50% retracement and the possible region depicted in a white color. So let me make it yellow so you can see. And from this region we expect to see from this support some type of a smaller 5 wave move, which will be a part of a third wave higher, and that will actually mark the end of this second wave correction, and it will favor for the rest of 2023, even maybe 2024, Ether over Bitcoin, as you can see on this chart. So for now, clarity on this chart is pretty nice. Wave count invalidation here, of course, is this low. So this proposed for now hypothesis, until it fulfills itself or give us some more probability signs, is actually here. So wave count invalidation is 0.049, pretty far from the current price action. We can also do some type of a channeling here to look for a potential support which falls down in this box, as you can see it here. Also, what we can do here, we can lower down a 0.618 retracement, and if it falls below 786, usually it's gonna pierce through this wave count invalidation. So we don't expect that to happen. Of course, I mean, that is just our opinion, but technically it looks that it's going to find its low in this region. So what that makes for Ether? So Ether can go up against the Bitcoin either if they both fell lower or they're both going higher. In this case, looking all of the charts, we think that both of them are going to go higher, and that Ether, it's going to be a favored one because the charts are telling us potentially that this compression of volatility which has been happening from these highs was actually over here. We'll label that as a wave 4. So Ether has sustained much less damage than the rest of the crypto space during the FTX collapse and all of what has occurred, and we got only this as a corrective pullback, while the Bitcoin is still trading or around 200 moving average, and Ether is trading above it. So this is the upper trend line resistance. So if we magnify this picture, I still think we are in a 1-2, and then we are still not finished the lesser degree wave 1. So Ether chart in this case is a little bit more advanced, which actually calls for the beginning of the orange wave 3 in this purple wave 3, and Bitcoin still has to make this first move on the upside in the wave 3. So definitely if we see a breakout, and wherever you see this kind of a compression of energy and volatility, you're going to see a brutal breakout on one side, either lower or higher. In this case, we think this actually breakout will be on a higher side, and then we are going to actually pinpoint the place from where potentially this move higher can begin. So it's still not the time. We are still in the wave 4, beginning of a wave 5, which is, I think, still not complete. We have a little bit more upside to go. Around, let's say, 1,850, 1,920, 30. So this trend line on the upside will present a kind of a resistance to the further developments on the upside, and I think that will provoke a corrective pullback in an ABC, which will be of a smaller magnitude than in Bitcoin, and then most likely we are going to be ready to explosively move higher. Okay. So I hope that that is clear, guys. If you have any questions looking Bitcoin and Ether, please type them in the box. So I think that this explanation satisfy all the curiosity out there. Of course, on our crypto service, we look more than 50, 60, 60 projects, not to use the word currencies. And there is a couple of them which painted kind of a picture which was present. So Polkadot has a nice development from lows. So in 5 waves, ADA as well. So we are looking there for a pullback. So it looks similar as a Bitcoin and Ether. So we are testing these first 5 waves on the upside and a pullback, and most of them are in the similar situation. One of the things we looked was also Matic, which is playing pretty nicely as we were looking from this wave pullback from our members. And then we have a nice upside development here. We published this chart on our Discord in the members area, pretty much very close to this wave 4 pullback. And some of our members took a shot for a long trade, which is still not done. I think we have a little bit more upside in line with the Bitcoin and Ether. But then this first sequence on Matic on the upside will be done, and then we are ready like in Ether. So Matic is also pretty much advanced in this wave structure. So Ether will Matic will also possibly be in the situation and as Ether to pretty much fly on the upside after this pullback. So I think that is our current case that we are tracking, but very soon these 5 waves up might be actually completed on the upside. So let me look a couple of your requests and your comments. So William, hello, good morning. Dalibor, good morning. Schnitzel, hello. Schnitzel wants to look Gala. Giga wants to look GRT. Torchain, Mara, Riot, Algorand. Yeah, we will of course check just a couple of them. So if you want to see more of our work, you can test trial our service. So let me just pick a couple of them, which I think I have them here. Let's see what Gala is doing. So Gala is yeah, we look for this wave A on the upside. Is this wave A done, or it has a little bit more on the upside? Yeah, it seems it's already started a move. So 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, I will maybe think that if we go upside, that will be a wave A, but most likely I think that this might unfold, and it's already started to unfold in some B wave or a second wave. As I said, from this type of selling, I always consider first move on the upside as a 3-wave move, and then I relabel it when it's continue further on the upside. So for now, potentially we might go a touch lower, because this sequence is most likely finished in a 5 waves. So this is a 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and we might be in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in a flat for B wave before we start moving higher on this Gala chart. Let's see a Torchain and what we are there. Yeah, so I was looking for a leading diagonal here, because 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is already done. So this is a beginning sequence where each leg, and this is an expanding variety, where each sequence is bigger than the subsequent one, and potentially this is going to correct in some type of an ABC movement down to this 1.3, 1.5 levels. So for now, on this one, Mara is moving higher, so a couple of these stocks has an impulsive sequence on the upside. I don't think we're going to start to continue higher, as the Bitcoin will soon probably make the pullback. So here, if you see a new high, it will be a wave 1 of the new progression on the upside. If not, this will be an ABC x ABC just going down to 4.8, 4.5 before we start continuing higher. So this is the impulsive feature and development from the lows. So we have a 5 waves up here and 3 waves pullback. So either if this continues higher, this will be a wave 1, and when Bitcoin pullbacks, it will do a smaller degree, wave 2, like Ether, and then continue higher explosively, or this will be just the X wave, and we're gonna go in a complex correction. So this is left to be seen. I think this is not still the time to pursue that, because Bitcoin has a 5 waves up and it's going to correct. So we're going to see either from here or a little bit higher a corrective pullback on Mara. Okay, so let me look. Okay, Rio. Yeah, same thing. Okay, so either a 5 waves up, down, so basically the same chart as Mara. It doesn't differ much. Okay. Okay, guys, so that will be all for today. If you want to check our crypto service or do a trial, it's I think $27. You can find it on a trading analysis web page. We do have extensive crypto coverage for our members and chart requests as well. So please click the like button, subscribe. That will help this content to move further up the line. We are trying that for over a year, but since we like mooning, we are behind. So yeah, so see you next Thursday. We're gonna continue to cover this, and for now, the things in most of the cases, if you look the previous crypto labs with rates, this macro analysis about the dollar, and also the cryptos are pretty much unfolding as we were looking with the small adjustments. Usually you need to make. You cannot get it at the first. Sometimes things and patterns do not unfold as you think, so you need to make some type of an adjustments. But overall, our analysis and research was pretty, I think, successful for these events that we have seen. So stay with us. Thank you very much for being at our channel, and see you next week, guys. Bye bye.